Hey, I am so glad that you're joining us for the after sermon, and this is where we sit down with the weekend's communicator here at Plum Creek Church, and we talk a little bit about maybe some things that didn't make it into the message, and so I'm so glad you're joining us. Pastor Doug, you preached this weekend, and honestly, I was thinking about it this way. This weekend has been a race for the starting line.
Yeah.
In a bunch of ways.
That's been,
tell me what's been on your heart this week as you thought about this week's message as we conclude the Next Is Now series.
Yeah, that's a good question. I mean, I feel in my heart clearly that God is on the move at Plum Creek. And when we look at this challenge that lies in front of us to create some extra space for our ministry influence to continue to grow, I'm excited about what this means for all of those that call Plum Creek home, that have an opportunity to walk through this exercise of hearing his voice, getting excited about what he's doing, about being part of it, and then just making a commitment to trust and to watch how God will provide. We've already gotten several stories from people where things are already starting to move in a way that is just showing God's provision. And there's others that are walking through seasons where they're like, this is going to take a miracle. And I can't wait for us to experience that together. And then to actualize, in the future, what it means to have a growing impact on this community. It is extremely exciting to me. I'm very proud of our church.
What would you say when we talk about risk and the value of risk, stepping out in faith, that every movement of God requires somebody to pay some sort of price, like step out and risk?
Yeah.
How have you seen that over the last 20 years, to get us to this point?
I mean, where do you even begin?
I know.
I've said many times, even said it this morning, there's nothing that you could tell me that God can't do.
Yeah.
Like, I believe he could do anything.
Yeah.
And I've seen his faithfulness year after year, challenge after challenge. I've seen him move in his people's hearts in so many amazing ways. I've seen the excitement from the very beginning when we had absolutely nothing and we were just scrambling to get by, and seeing his faithfulness every step of the way that brings us to this moment that we're in now. And like I just mentioned before, it's more to me than just like moving through these seasons. It's about the formation work that God is doing in each of us, me too, through this. I mean, just complete reliance on him, knowing I'm not good enough to make any of this stuff happen, but God is, and I'll just be faithful to do what he's called me to do. And I know he will be faithful and our people will be faithful, but there's this formation that takes place in the risk. Everyone that God called to do something that seemed beyond what they were capable became the catalyst for some real, true, deeper understanding of who God is and the way that he loves his people. And if we really sit back and think about it, that the King of Kings, the Lord of Lords is on the move. And he says to Eric, he says to Doug, and he says to each of us, come on.
Yeah.
I want you to be part of it. And I want you to experience what this is like to be part of God changing lives, and in the process of saying yes to those risks, God changes us too. It's amazing.
Isn't it cool though? Like, I was thinking about this as you were talking right at the beginning. You're like, I believe God can do anything. And I think the reason why you believe God can do anything is because you have repeatedly put yourself in a place where God has to show up. If you don't, like, think about it. If you don't put yourself in a place for God to show up, you never know what God can do.
Yeah.
Right? Never. Yeah. And how I think the hardest thing for me, the hardest thing for most of us is to put yourself in a place for God to show up means that you have to let go of like some security. You have to let go of some stuff. You have to be vulnerable. But it's powerful because you get to a place in your life where once you've experienced him, it makes the next step a tiny bit easier, right?
Oh, yeah. I think that it would be a complete misnomer to say that there's not fear surrounding those moments of risk. We see that in Gideon's life too, where God's even so carefully saying, hey, go down. Let me show you what's happening down there to help bolster your faith even more to take this move.
Yeah.
So he does that for all of us.
Well, I mean, I think that's what I love about the story. You preached out of Judges 7, which is the story of Gideon, and we tied it back to the Hebrews passage, which we've been rolling through. But his story is an amazing story because last night when you were preaching, I wrote this note. I'm like, everything feels impossible if you're looking at the wrong thing, right? It all depends on what you're looking at.
Yeah.
It all just depends. Like if you're looking at, 135,000 people and I've got a couple hundred, looks pretty bad.
It looks scary.
Looks real rough. It's like, man, God is not an accountant.
He's a horrible military strategist.
Horrible. But it's all about like what you're looking at. I mean, in this season, these moments really do define what you're going to look at, where your gaze is going to lie. Because when you look at God, then everything begins to change or shift. So
it'll be fun someday to talk to Gideon about that, because the second you get your eyes off God and you think this is dependent on us, the whole thing it doesn't work. And it would just be, you'd be paralyzed with fear.
Oh yeah.
And I love that. Like in this stage that we're in, this next is now, and the sacrifices and all the things that people are feeling led to do to contribute and be part of what's happening. We just have to keep our eyes on Jesus. This isn't about us doing more or earning more or somehow figuring out how to make these commitments. It's about our eyes fixed on Jesus, and he's going to do it. That fires me up. It's going to be exciting to, even in my life, Beth and I, we're praying that God's going to provide in very real ways, and we'll be able to meet our commitment to this as well. So this is an exciting time, man. It is exciting.
It is, and I think I like what you said. It doesn't like fear goes away, but every time that we step out and we put ourselves in a place where God must show up, it does do something in our heart. It changes something in us, right? Like it makes, I don't know, it like puts a deposit in our faith bucket where the next go round you go, God's got this.
I think it's like working out, right? Like you do it, then you have confidence that you can do it again.
You do it again.
But if you wait too long, all of a sudden that muscle starts to fatigue a little bit. And so for me, for us, for all of us, this is just going back to the gym here of faith and trust and seeing God do his thing. Our faith muscle is going to grow, and God's going to do his thing in us, and God's going to use his church in super big ways.
Big time. Well, thanks, Doug. Thanks for the series. Thanks for the leadership. Thanks for coming to Castle Rock 20 years ago. Cause that was like a Gideon moment.
It was.
It was like you against 135,000.
And God is faithful.
God is faithful. Well, listen, if you want to hear the whole message, you can go to your favorite podcast platform and download the message, or you can go to YouTube and watch it. I'd encourage you to do that. And again, thanks, bro. Love you. Thank you.
Praying for you guys.
Join us. Yeah. We'll see you soon.